you need to have the right mix of wow and how. Think about it. If it's all just wow, then it's pure entertainment. And there's no take home value. There's no tangible value to it. If you have all how though, then it's just a lecture, a training. It's boring. It feels like busy work. Welcome to King Moves. In chess, the king moves one step at a time, but that single move can change everything. Each week, we explore mindset shifts and simple actions that could lead to the next breakthrough in your business and life. I'm your co-host, Ethan King, from Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, and best-selling author of Wealth Beyond Money.
And I'm your co-host, Justin King, no relation to Ethan, from Cape Town, South Africa. Entrepreneur, speaker, and business growth strategist. Our journey crosses continents and cultures as we think out loud, challenge assumptions, and uncover the small moves that create big momentum. Welcome to King Moves. Let's start the conversation. All right, Ethan. So you got back to Atlanta on Saturday. You spent a few days in Dublin, your first trip to Dublin, I believe, for Entrepreneur Organization annual GLC.
Global Leadership Conference. Yep.
And I would love to hear how it went. I mean, we've got 2,000 entrepreneurs from all over the globe converging on a single city for a single event. So lots of people, lots of friends, lots of learnings and takeaways. And I thought it'd be amazing to dig into those a little bit.
Yeah, totally. So this is my 10th GLC, actually. This is all of the EO leaders from across the world. I think we have about 20,000 members across the globe and in different chapters. And within each chapter, you have your leadership on the local level, the regional level, and the global level. And we all come together, and it is a great time of learning and connecting, and also learning about not just like your track and your role on the board, but also just about leadership principles in general. So I had a lot of great takeaways from the keynote speakers and the conference.
What is the one thing that just stood out for you? There must be one.
Yeah.
What is that thing?
It is the wow and the how. That framework. So this speaker, Harris III, he goes by, he talked about how we're entering the imagination age, where we're leaving behind the information age and we're going to the imagination age. And I thought a lot about AI as I was listening to him, even though it wasn't specifically an AI talk, but we're really now limited only by our imagination, because anyone can build anything if you just think about it and know how to say it in plain English, and you can get AI to do it for you. But one thing about the wow and the how, and this, you and I both will relate to this since we met in a community of public speakers, is when you're speaking, you could talk about the wow, which is like awe, like big concepts. In fact, one thing that he pointed out that was a big aha for me is that the words awesome and awful both share the same root word, all, that AW. And new technology, changes in history, are always both awesome and awful at the same time. There's good and bad to it. So when it comes to, back to the wow and the how, we can teach conceptual things like amaze people and be bewildered by the things that, say, AI can do, or say a magician can do. Like when he does a magic trick, it's like, oh, that's awesome. Wow. But now we want to know, how did you do that? We instantly want to go to the tactics and learn step by step. Okay, how did you do that? It's like left brain, right brain. And he said that, I guess his key takeaway was, sometimes it's just fine to be in wonder. In fact, he quoted Socrates, who said, wisdom begins in wonder. And it's okay to just appreciate the wow. We don't always have to know the how. But I don't know. I had to wrestle with that one. I like to know the how. And it made me think about my workshops and keynotes when I'm teaching AI. Someone actually told me once that I'm like a magician and that I'm showing people these AI magic tricks. But then I just turn around and teach them exactly how to do it. But a real magician never teaches his tricks. So I want to give a shout out to Harris, though, because he actually did teach us a magic trick in his breakout workshop later on that day. So he did give us a little bit of the how.
I like that. We probably do just skim over the wow a little bit too much, but maybe it's a appreciate the wow for now, or appreciate the wow right now, and then figure out the how. But at least it's for me, it's just taking a moment to pause. That's maybe where a lot of us go wrong. Can we pause long enough to appreciate the wow before just immediately going to figure out the how? Because nothing wrong, I think, with going to the how, but if we go there immediately without taking stock and appreciating and sitting in and enjoying the awe of the moment, I think that becomes problematic.
Yeah. Speaking of, did you see the TED Talk by Peter Steinberger, the guy who invented OpenClaw? They just published his TED Talk. It was just a day or two ago, so this is brand new.
It landed in my inbox. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, very fascinating. I've already watched it 2 or 3 times. But speaking on the same topic, the wow and the how, something that really stood out to me is that after he created OpenClaw and he just let it run all night, and when he woke up, it had done all this stuff. And he was just like, wow. And he asked it, how did you do that? And it explained it, but it was just that bewilderment of a piece of software. He created it. He wrote it. But the fact that it went beyond what he thought it would do, I find amazing. And he really has revolutionized where this world is headed. And it's almost like he comes off as, I don't know him personally, but he comes off as like just kind of a good guy, like a happy-go-lucky guy. And he almost doesn't realize quite what he created. He kind of gives off that vibe. But go check that out if you haven't. Peter Steinberger, TED Talk.
I want to be cautious of not taking us into another AI conversation. It seems to be all the conversations go, not just between you and I currently, but just in every interaction I have, it is absolutely top of mind for everybody. And I mean, we'll do an episode on Claude. Is it Mythos? That is
Mythos. Yeah.
That is also really, I think that is top of mind for a lot of people right now, and particularly the experts in the field. What does that mean? But how long? So going back to the wow and the how do you think that could serve you going forward? What? Because it resonated with you, and do you feel that you just too quickly jump to the how, and what does that cost you if you don't sit in the wow?
Yeah, I think that there is. It really serves us if you are ever presenting something or trying to teach something to someone, you need to have the right mix of wow and how. Think about it. If it's all just wow, then it's pure entertainment and there's no take-home value. There's no tangible value to it. If you have all how, though, then it's just a lecture, a training. It's boring. It feels like busy work. So you need to have the right mix of the two. And for me, it just kind of crystallized and put into a framework something I was already doing but didn't quite realize it. So it's reassuring to me that I'm on the right track. A lot of times, in fact, I saw a lot of people at GLC that had attended my workshops, and I was humbled because they were singing my praises. But a lot of times I don't know why the things resonate with people. You ever done something and you're like, that's cool that they liked it, but I don't quite know why they liked it. Like I want to know the how behind why I'm getting good feedback. And this was it for me. It was like, I'm doing the mix of the two. And I noticed it more. In fact, I noticed it with other speakers at GLC who did not necessarily have the right mix of wow and how. I think they did a great job in selecting him as the opening keynote because he kind of set the tone. And there was, for example, Ben Hardy. He was one of the speakers, Dr. Benjamin Hardy, who was the author of 10X is easier than 2X and Who Not How, Gap in the Gain. And his latest one is, I think it's called Scaling.
Yeah. Most of them co-authored with Dan Sullivan.
Most of them, yeah. I think his most recent one is not, but I love his books, love his content. Honestly, as a speaker, and if you're listening to this, Ben, there's just not that dynamic of a speaker. Like listening to him speak was just the same as listening to his audiobook. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it didn't knock me off of my socks either. Now, I've seen other speakers go get training and coaching and add that wow value to it. In fact, one of them is Damon John. I saw him speak years ago. And to be fair, he was on a panel, but this is kind of a boring talk. And then I saw him, I was at another conference, maybe it was 1 year later, and the talk was dynamic. He had music. He literally had a DJ up there with him that was cute, playing music on sync. He was taking us on a journey. It was one of the best keynote speeches I've ever seen from the same guy. And that shows you what 1 year of training can do and what injecting the wow can do into your talk. Rich Mulholland talks a lot about that, the boredom slayer, right? So yeah, it really stood out to me. And then there was this futurist who was talking about stuff that I've been doing for 3 years. And I was just like, oh my goodness, anybody can call themselves a futurist, but maybe that's a topic for another day.
And outside of the talks and the people presenting, what else was there that stood out for you? Because I mean, a lot of people coming together. Curious. There might have been a lot of conversations, a few drinks being had. What other nuggets did you pick up?
Lots and lots of Guinness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And I'm not even that big of a beer drinker, but I had a Guinness or two. And then we had the closing event at the Guinness factory, which is nice. pretty amazing. I mean, I don't know how many. It just seemed to go up. It was at least 7, 8, 9 floors. Apparently, this is where they make all the Guinness in the world and export it. I think they said it's sitting on like 40,000 acres. Oh. But someone described it as the Willy Wonka factory of beer. That's what it felt like on the inside. Very, very whimsical, kind of futuristic, colorful, escalators going every which way. Listen, if you go to Dublin, you have to check that out. It is a cool attraction. Even take the kids, it's not all about beer. Take the kids and check it out. It is a piece of wonder. That was a lot of fun. And it's always good to reconnect with people. It's also like a big homecoming with friends from across the world.
Yeah. And now you just got to catch up on some sleep.
That's right. Yeah. I slept like a baby on the plane on the way back, but still not the same when you have to recover from jet lag.
Amazing. So Ethan, if we had to, because we always try sign these off with some form of a king move. What is the king move on the wow? Because not everybody listening is going to be a keynote speaker. So if we have to think wow, not how in our business, or wow, not how in our lives, what is a good way for us to wrap that up?
Yeah. So not everyone listening wants to be a keynote speaker, but everyone has had a moment where they're trying to convince someone of an idea. You're trying to sell someone on a concept or an idea that you have, and this is the way to package that. You need to make sure you have the right blend of the wow, the amazement, show them how amazing this thing is, inject some wonder into it, some entertainment into it, but then also ground it and show them the how and the tactical approach. And make sure you have that blend of the two, whether you're giving a 30-second talk to one person or a 30-minute talk to 10,000 people.
Love it. It's exactly that. We always try to land something, sell something, whether that's in everyday conversation, in our businesses, wherever it may be. So I love that. Wow and how. I need to find the right blend. Ethan, I appreciate it. It's a good chat. Thank you.
That's a wrap for today's episode of King Moves. Quick favor before we go. If this episode made you think differently or helped you see your next move more clearly, take 30 seconds and leave us a review. It helps the show reach leaders who need these conversations. Remember, in chess, like in business, one right move can change everything.
Take today's action step, make your move, and build momentum. And if you found value in today's episode, share it with someone who's ready for the next breakthrough. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss our weekly conversations.
Until next time.